How's everyone doing? So in this video, we're going to talk about a specific league. The last video we talked about a specific kind of area of the pitch, specific profile, specific type of player. This one we're going to go to League. Slightly different. I've done this a few times, but it's something I enjoy. I enjoy delving into kind of what a league is. Why would you choose that league? What's specific about that league that you think can transfer to the Premier League? And France is an interesting one to me because it gets a bad rep, which I don't agree with at all. And it's a new league for me. I've not watched a lot of it until, honestly, about 5 or 6 weeks ago. And I've spent most of my last few weeks watching games in France. And for me, there's quite a lot of similarities to the Premier League stylistically. Obviously not quality-wise, obviously. Stylistically. In the sense that there's a high level of physicality. That's something I did notice, particularly down the central areas. Centre-back, centre-mid. In those areas, there's a big reliance on physical players. Whether this be strong, athletic, quick, direct. There's always a physical aspect to it, which I found very interesting. So in this video, I'm going to go through some players that I've really enjoyed watching the last kind of few months and discuss why I think they can fit Leeds and why I think they're good enough based on this league. And because of that similarity, actually, for me, it kind of shows that once a player can come into a team in Leeds United that needs physicality, let's be honest. So for me, naturally, you go for a league that relies on physical players, particularly down the centre. To me, that works. To me, that kind of bedding in period is less. Players come in straight away, they understand it. Biggest differences are probably, of course, the speed of play is a lot quicker in the Premier League. You can't really compete with that in any league in the world. That's the main thing. It's that speed you have to make a decision. For me, that's the difference between the Premier League and every other league. If you can hone in the physical attributes and the quality they have and allow to kind of develop that decision making, the play will work. So yeah, let's get into it. These are some centre-backs. Now, clarify, I'm not saying these are players Leeds should sign necessarily. Some of them I do really like, and I'll talk about them in a lot more detail. But these are players that I look at and think these guys could probably suit the Premier League to some extent. They are physical players. And Alexandra, I don't know if you guys know about Alexandra, the guy in the top left. Plays for Lille, 25 years old. Left-sided centre-back. Had a really good season. Really like the player. Really tall. Fairly dominant. Very calm. And drive as well. And that's kind of something I've noticed about a lot of these guys. Quite comfortable at driving out with the ball. There's a bit more to them as opposed to meat and potatoes. There's a little bit of finesse. Now again, this might work in France, but it's about in the Premier League when you're being pressed higher, quicker, can you do that? Can you make them decisions effectively, quicker? I think a player like Disasi is a good example who was outstanding in France. Came to the Premier League and maybe has improved, but really struggled at Chelsea. Really struggled because it was the decision-making side of it. Timing of that tackle, that plays a little bit quicker. The timing of when to make that pass, when to drive, hesitating and making mistakes. But no other league in the world can compare in that sense. So that's why you have to try and find as many similarities with a player. And for me, this is why this league is really good. And Alexandro, for me, when you watch him, he plays with a calmness that you could see in the Premier League. He's a player I would love Leeds to sign. Also a player that, in my opinion, will go above and beyond Leeds if he did play anywhere. So, unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get him. A very, very good player. Lilian Brescia, probably, honestly, in this list, probably the guy I was most impressed with. Went to Marseille, Didn't work out. He went on loan to, well, he was at Stade Brest. He went on loan to Marseille. Didn't quite work out. So I think he went on loan to Stade Rennes. Stade Rennes, what do you want to call him? And he had a really, really good second half of the season there. Really impressed watching him. Again, left-footed. This guy, actual left-footed, left-sided centre-back. Played in the back three. Again, calm on the ball. Really liked his recovery runs. Really liked his kind of decision-making, when to advance onto the striker. When he was in those wider areas. And we'll see this if we do play high fullbacks. Very comfortable in wide areas. Didn't really feel exposed 1v1. Very good timing, very good understanding of where he is on the pitch, where the space is behind him. Fortunately for us anyway, I believe he's already signed Stade Rennes. So we will not be getting him. But a player I really like. Bombito, very tall, again quick, physical defender. Relatively dominant. Can be a little clunky. Can make rush decisions at times. Definitely a player I like. Christopher Wu, similar. Again, aerially dominant. Can be a little clunky. Can struggle at times with them quick decisions. These are the kind of attributes you're looking at going, if you want to be a Premier League defender, particularly for someone like Leeds, we need someone who is very calm on the ball at all times, even when being pressed, mainly. There's a lot of upside to these guys. Like I said, they're very good recovery run defenders. They're very good at covering space. It's the pressure side of it that worries me. Someone like Brescia, for example, really stood up to that. Whereas the other two guys that I just mentioned, again, they could. I'm not saying they can't. But it's that edge that you need in the Premier League. In that sense. So yeah, Nathan Zeze as well. Zeze, I don't really know how to pronounce, I'll be honest. Another one, like Brescia, who's very young, really impressed with. Really impressed with, played on the left again. Probably too young. That move to the Prem, but he's one of them players where it's clear you can see an extremely high ceiling. Extremely high ceiling. Really good athlete. I mean, as in, there'd be times in the game where, and I'm sure this is instruction, otherwise it's crazy, where he'd do a 1-2 and he'd bomb on. And I mean, attack their defence, bomb on, sprint forward, and then get back just as quick. Very good, I guess, in transition. Very quick recovery, up and down, works very hard. Still inexperienced, does make mistakes, does panic sometimes because he's so young. But very comfortable on the ball. Probably improve his kind of good at tracking, he's good at following the man, but probably improve his kind of aggressive defending, in my opinion. And this guy that I'm going to speak about, the guy right at the end, extremely good player. Put him in centre back, but for me, he's a 6. Played at centre back this season a lot for Strasbourg. 100% a 6. And what I'm thinking in the next guys who are midfielders, looking at our midfield, we lack physicality in a few ways. I'll talk about that. Yeah, Doucouré, really impressive young player. Again, at Strasbourg, there's a lot of good players at Strasbourg. Shame Chelsea have kind of, will have them all, I guess. But yeah, some I really like. I like them all, that's why they're on here. But some I think are more ready than others. That's what we got onto midfielders. Spoke about Andy Diouf yesterday in my video, so I'm not going to go into too much detail on him. Really like him. Definitely an advanced midfielder. An advanced number 8. Aggressive. 100% powerful runner. All strong. Guy that really stood out to me in the game I watched the other day against Strasbourg, against Diarra, who we will speak about, is Cisse. This young man is very, I looked at him and going into the Premier League looking for kind of a young 6 who can kind of build into the season and become a mainstay, maybe in a year or two. Someone that has more than Gruev, respectfully. A player that has a bit of an upside, a bit more of an upside than Gruev. A player you can look at and go, he has that physical output. He has that pace. He has that agility, as well as the pass range, as well as the understanding and the game IQ to adapt to the Premier League. And this guy, 100%, for me, felt and looked like that player. I was really impressed with him. Still stuff to do. Again, could be a little rash. I really liked his kind of the way he moved about the pitch. You could tell he's a player that thinks about what he's doing. He has that physical side to it, as well as the on-ball side that we currently have. He has that robustness where he can drive with it. He has that, can avoid 1-2 challenges. His pass range is really impressive. But watch out for him. The guy I'd really like at Leeds United as a kind of behind the two we've got, behind Ampadu, behind Tanaka, with this young man coming in, who has a massive ceiling, really put pressure on them. And Diarra, we'll talk about Diarra. Did a video the other day, didn't put him in the 5, which I'm really annoyed about because a day later we got linked to him massively. We put a bid in as this stands, as this video comes out. As I've made this, we have put a bid in. That's as it is at the moment. And the only reason I didn't put him in the top 5 was because I didn't think it's possible. And again, this could age like cheese. Is it milk, cheese, whatever? I still don't think we do. I do think there'll be a team higher up in the English League that will get in there, I'm afraid. I'd love this guy. It's not about faults. I think there's a lot of people talking about him, and in my opinion, even if you do really like a player, which I do, it's really important to still talk about the faults of the player. Obviously, he's your standard modern box-to-box midfielder. Really energetic, really busy, really quite productive on the ball. Again, good ball progressor. Finds attacking spaces and drift out wide and create combinations and come to feet, quick turn, really close ball control, and a really good passing range and read the games really well. For me, the bit that he would need to improve is kind of that. It's not defensive. It's a harsh word to say he can't defend, because he can defend 100%. He can defend. It's that kind of quick understanding in a defensive situation. Again, talking about the Premier League, everyone's a little bit quicker, reacting to that quick. I think for Strasbourg, a lot of his role was being busy, being proactive, being productive. He wasn't a mainstay in terms of his defensive decision. I think the other guys in there, obviously Santos, who was at Chelsea, a lot of that stuff for him. But for me, it would definitely work more with him and Ampadu. I think there's a nicer balance there. Yeah, a player I really like. Oh, I love him at Leeds. Don't think we get him. Hopefully I'm wrong. Madi Kamara at the bottom there. Really underrated player. Really underrated. Really underrated. Plays for Stade Brest. Really underrated player. Just aggressive. There's an edge. There's a little bit of Tyler Adams with goal output. That's kind of what he reminds me of. He's just really good at reading play. Defensive player. Would be an excellent backup, in my opinion, to Ampadu. Would be an excellent backup. Or say backup, kind of coming as a squad player, as third choice, second choice, to then put pressure on Ampadu, because defensively he's really good. He's really busy. Gets across the pitch well, works hard, can drive again, can be progressive. And then we've got Neil Elinawi. I really like this guy again. Definitely a 6, more of a 6. Plays really well in midfield with youth. They have a really good balance when they play together. Very tall, very good ball control, read the game very well, very safe on the ball, and has a lovely pass range, makes good decisions. Again, like Cisse, if we're looking to upgrade behind what we have with Ampadu and Tanaka, with guys who can push them, for me, these two from a defensive perspective and kind of that upgrade on Gruev. These two would be perfect for that role, in my opinion. Mara as well. Yeah, very impressive. Really like him. Very different, very tall and strong physical profile. Whereas Cisse is a little smaller, a little more robust. And finally on this list is Mukau. I'm not going to pronounce it. I'm not going to try to say his first name. It's like 3 a.m. Big up. But just again, similar, not similar, but relatively similar to Diarra in the sense that he's just a very productive box-to-box player. A guy who has that physical edge as well that can develop and that you can work with. Nowhere near as complete as Diarra yet. Very raw, can rush a lot. For me, wouldn't be ready for the Premier League. Needs to have a few more years developing his game at the top. But a guy I really like was a massive ceiling. Really nice to watch. Just not ready yet. And finally, the strikers. And I'm not going to talk too much detail about them. For example, Evan Gessan. We're not getting him. For me, he's too good. Right, he'll play higher. Emega again. Strasbourg, really tall striker, but again, we're not getting. And it's important to say, like, although this is predominantly about how France produces really good physical players, you know, athletes as well as excellent footballers, they're not all like that. They're not all really strong. They're not all really quick. But the way the league plays brings similarities centrally for me to the Premier League, of course, without, like I've spoken, the quality or the intensity or the speed of thought. But you're working with that, right? And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for physical players, I believe. Players who can put a lot in, physically, a lot of physical demand. Like players like I just said, Gessan and Omega, they're not coming to Leeds United, but they're on here because there's parts of their profile that you look at and go, these are maybe the type of players that we should be looking at. For example, I love the Munoz shout. I love the Beto shout. Because they bring aspects what we need physically. Breland Bolo is up there. I love Breland Bolo. I'll be honest. There's another striker I really like that's not in France, so I'm not going to speak about him in this video. But he plays for Ajax, so there's a thing. I absolutely love him. Don't know if that's possible, but it's just perfect. Roby. But it's just perfect. But Breland Bolo for me, I've loved him for years. He's always been a player I've liked. I've always wanted him at Leeds. But now be that time. Maybe not. Maybe he's still above that level, but he's just big, he's strong, he's quick, he's skillful, lovely technique. Not extremely clinical, but do we need that? Is that what we're looking for? I think we're looking for someone who can chip in, but someone who can be involved, someone who could be a presence, someone who can occupy defenders, 2 feet or in behind. I just love Breland Bolo for that. Honestly, I'd check him in a second. I really would. Perry Moffey is, again, similar in that sense. Maybe a little more rough, a little more rugged than Breland Bolo. And he's been out almost all season with an injury. So he's one that I like the profile. But I do have questions whether he can match the Premier League intensity. And then these two at the top above me. 2 young talents. Lucas Stassin, Senesian. If you haven't watched this guy, go watch him. This guy's got it. Do I say it? Yeah. I think this guy's going to be a star. I really do. I think this guy's going to be a star. He's a fantastic footballer. Again, not the biggest, not the most physical, but a player who playing in France who I think has a huge future. The biggest kind of statement French football is PSG. And look at what they played with. They're a really good mix of technical players. It's complemented by quick, direct Doué, Dembele, Ascavia. These guys are so quick, so direct, dangerous. We need to bring a bit of that. We're going to be in a position where we're relying on that. Ablin, I don't really have to say his name, but literally watched him the other day, yesterday, the day before. Just a busy striker who loves to get involved, loves to be involved in the tussle, loves to occupy defenders, come to feet, going behind. Lovely technique. Another player that is really good. I believe he was linked, was it to Everton or Palace or West Ham? I can't remember. That's it, people. This was just a league, talking about some players from a league that I think could work. I know people are going to say, well, it's France, it's nowhere near as good enough. It's not the point. Nowhere as good as the Premier League. This is the point. But you have to look for attributes. There's a lot of transferable attributes. France to England. We're never going to replicate the quality possible. What do we need? We need physical. We have a lot of that in France. We need a lot of players who can develop in the Premier League quickly. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Appreciate all the support. We'll be going through the comments. It's been a crazy last few days, but I will be going through the comments. You have my word. All support. See you guys in a bit.